Rating breakfast around the world. Netherlands. This right here is hagelslag. It's literally just chocolate sprinkles on buttered toast. And I have to be honest here, guys, this is a ridiculous breakfast. If I wanted a sugar rush in the morning, I just eat cereal. 2.5 out of 10. Russia. These are sirniki. They are pan-fried cheese patties made out of cottage cheese, eggs, flour, and sugar. They're shallow fried in oil and then served with sour cream and jam. And they were pretty good. Solid breakfast, but a bit one-dimensional. 6.5 out of 10. Greece. This is strapazzata. It's a scrambled egg dish done with grated ripe tomatoes cooked in olive oil with some garlic. The eggs are cooked with the tomatoes and then they can be finished with some feta cheese. It is usually served with some bread, and my god, this was an amazing breakfast. Easy and quick to make, nutritious and delicious. Doesn't get much better than this. 9 out of 10. Mexico. This is huevos rancheros, which is a very famous Mexican breakfast. It was my first time making it, and I put a lot of effort into this tomato sauce right here. It was delicious. And you know you cannot go wrong with beans for breakfast. That's why I love Mexico. They just put beans in everything. And then of course, the huevos. 2 fried eggs over a crispy fried corn tortilla. I topped it with some cilantro, and I have to say, this is my type of breakfast. I have to give this a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. The US. When it's not sugary cereal for breakfast, which I'm not even gonna consider because it's just a spoonful of capitalism, the American breakfast is simply a bad impersonation of the European diner-style breakfast. So essentially we have pancakes, which, they're good, but with the butter and syrup on top, they're just dessert cosplaying as breakfast. We have bacon, which, sure, it's bacon, and fried eggs. The only respectable part of this dish. And listen, all these things by themselves are not bad, but bringing them all together in this fashion, plus don't forget about the glass of freshly squeezed sugar concentrate, results in a sad and frankly soulless breakfast. Not a big fan. 3 out of 10. Honduras. These are baleadas, and I tried making them completely from scratch, and I'm telling you, making that tortilla was an adventure. But yeah, after I semi-successfully did that, it was time to prep my other ingredients. Here I'm making my frijoles, and I didn't have enough bean juice to make it super creamy, but I promise they were extremely delicious. Baleadas also have this cream thing called mantequilla, which I recreated using this recipe I found on YouTube. And I just spread that thing all over my beans, maybe a bit more. Add some cheese, some scrambled eggs, perfect avocado slices, and finish it off with some flaky salt and some fresh lime juice. Now it's time to fold it up, and of course, taste it. Buen provecho. You know what I think, guys? I think this is our first 10 out of 10. Costa Rica. This is gallo pinto. And to make it properly, I had to make my own salsa Lizano, which is a special sauce they use for this dish. So I found a recipe online and quickly blended it up because it's an essential part of this dish. Okay, let's start with some onions, bell peppers, and garlic. Get them all sweaty in there and add the sauce. Just some of the sauce. Now we're gonna get all of that mixed in and add our rice that's hopefully a day old. After that, let's get our lovely black beans. Mix everything and cook it down, and of course add some more sauce because we love it. And then finish it off with some fresh cilantro if you don't hate cilantro. I used the bowl as a mold to create this lovely shape and topped it off with a fried egg, and it's tasty time. Very compelling breakfast, relatively easy to make, nutritious, and it's got beans. I loved it. This is a 8.1 out of 10. Philippines. This is tapsilog, and I'm starting by marinating my beef in this soy-based marinade in order to make tapa, which is the beef part of this dish. While the meat is marinating, we need some garlic fried rice. So for that, I'm frying up some garlic and some leftover rice until it's all fried. After the beef has been marinating for a while, we can cook it on high heat, and we cook it until it's cooked. Taste it to make sure it's not poison, and lastly, let's fry up an egg. Look at that beautiful egg, and assemble this Filipino breakfast. Oh my god, it was really tasty, especially the beef. However, it took quite a bit of time to make, so for that only, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Thank you, Philippines. Japan. The traditional Japanese breakfast is one of great variety with multiple smaller portions of different types of food. Of course, we have a bowl of steamed rice, on top of which I added natto, a fermented soybean dish that is probably the slimiest thing I've ever put in my mouth. Look at that thing stretch. We also have miso soup, and I made a quick version that literally took me like 2 minutes to complete. I added some tofu to this for some light protein, and the final side dish I made was tamagoyaki, which is a Japanese layered omelette that involves the technique that I haven't quite mastered yet of adding the egg mixture gradually and rolling the omelette onto itself. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but I'm pretty proud of it. This breakfast was surprisingly quick to complete. It's nutritionally complete, and it's not overfilling. It's tasty, complex, and it's really fun to eat. I have to give this a 9 out of 10. Brazil. This is pão de queijo. They're little Brazilian cheese buns made with tapioca flour that I'm putting into a bowl right here and adding some salt to. Over this mixture, I'm gonna pour some boiling hot milk mixed with some oil, and now the task is to mix this up until it becomes kinda doughy. This must be the stickiest thing I've ever made. So now just crack an egg on top of it and get it incorporated. After that, I added my cheeses, some mozzarella, and some Parmesan cheese. Mix until well incorporated, and it's time to make some balls. I just love handling balls in the morning. Anyways, bake these at 200 Celsius for 20 minutes, and check these out, they look so cute. And yeah, we gotta break these balls open. Look at that cheesy, sticky goodness. And these were super fun to eat. I respect them as a snack, but as a breakfast, I gotta say not very compelling. I'm gonna give them a 6.5 out of 10. The UK. Yes, by popular request, I'm finally doing the full English breakfast. It's a diner-style combo of a variety of foods that kind of feels like the good version of the USA breakfast. We got the beans, and you know I love my beans. And I even made my own sauce. It was just delicious, very good. I pan-seared some cherry tomatoes on the vine, along with some mushrooms, with just a bit of salt and some thyme for flavoring. We got some back bacon that I quickly seared, and in the same pan, I cooked some sausages, just until they developed a deep brown color. And who doesn't love sausage in their mouth in the morning? And of course, some fried sunny side up eggs, with that egg yolk still nice and leaky. And this breakfast is absolutely delicious. Taste-wise, it's just amazing. But I gotta say, definitely not an everyday kind of thing. It's very heavy and fatty, but still amazing. This is a strong 8 out of 10. France. Breakfast is not a particularly important meal in France, which is why they usually go simple with a tartine, which is a piece of baguette that's slathered with butter and or jam, plus a cup of coffee. Oh, and remember that ratatouille scene. It's true. The French may also consume pastries like the pain au chocolat, the pain au raisin, and the world-famous buttery croissant. And even though I love all these things, and I'd love to eat a fresh croissant in a small Parisian cafe, this is not good breakfast in my book. Je suis désolé, I'm giving the French breakfast a 4 out of 10.